What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to discuss if we trust Warner Bros. Montreal with this new Arkham game, or to make this new Arkham game. And this has come hot off the heels. I just got done recording the video that you guys saw last week, Thursday, which was talking about the Video Game Awards. And in that video, I actually got myself super hyped to record this video. And here's what I want to do. You know, we've talked a lot about Warner Bros. Montreal in general, okay? We've talked about their marketing, and it's not even so much about their marketing, but I want to discuss kind of a long discussion that I think a lot of people have brought up in the past, and it really is something that I think we need to, in a way, brace ourselves for, because one of the biggest things is, yeah, the game is real. The game is totally happening. I 100%. I mean, if you guys don't think that, then I think you just have come to the wrong place. It's totally cool. Just come back when the game does get announced. I think this game is real. I think this game is going to happen. This game is going to get announced at the VGAs. I truly do believe that. Okay, once that happens, whenever this game does get, even if it's not at the VGAs, whenever it gets announced, I think the next thing people will probably start to say is, well, fantastic, that's great. Will it suck? Will this game not be good? Because you look at Warner Bros. Montreal, I think a lot of people are going to look into it and be like, oh, they're the ones who made Arkham Origins. Well, I didn't play Arkham Origins, or I didn't enjoy Arkham Origins, or whatever they're going to say. And I don't think it's going to be all that unfair. There's still a lot of people online, even in some of our big, when we have these 2, 3, 4, 5,000 viewed videos, all these ones, a lot of the people that watch are the hardcore Arkham people. They kind of know what's going on. They've seen another video, whether it be from me or, one of like the 3 or 4 other Arkham channels on YouTube that cover it, okay? So it's not like they're totally unknown to the idea of this Arkham game. However, like the videos that I have made that have gotten bigger than that, and I'm sure these other Arkham YouTubers as well, even though I don't consider us an Arkham YouTube channel, by the way. That's just something I think we've been labeled as. We're not, but, if you want to call us that, that's totally cool. But the Kevin Conroy video, the announcing it on Arkham Asylum's anniversary, or the when I said like it got teased like major, or the leaked title, whatever, the ones that get like 17, 18, 19, 20,000 views, you get a lot of people that actually think Rocksteady's making it. They don't even know the difference between Warner Bros. And Rocksteady. Or they'll say, like, I thought Arkham Knight was the last one. Like, they said it's the last one. Well, Rocksteady said that. Like, that kind of stuff. And we've had this discussion before. But to kind of paint the picture, not everybody's in the same situation as us. Okay, so when the game gets announced, people are going to be looking at it. And my question to you guys is, do we trust Warner Bros. Montreal? I've seen people in the comments over the last couple months in videos saying like I'm not even going to get it because of Warner Bros. Montreal. And again, it's a good discussion because I think so many of us, I think like this channel especially, all these videos, I'm pretty Mr. Positive and pretty optimistic. I constantly tell you guys, don't panic, don't worry, like the announcement's coming. Let's not get too crazy here. Nobody's going there with pitchforks and with torches, stuff like that. Like, that's not happening. But the question should be asked, like, do we even trust that they can do a good game in the first place? They can make a good game? Because if we go strictly off of their marketing ideas and their marketing premise, it's going to be a pure disaster. Look at how they've marketed, and look at how they've marketing in terms of literally how they've teased this game, which I see it as the same thing for right now because the game doesn't exist yet. Okay, so right now, they're marketing, they're getting it out in people's brains. Is there teasers? Is there kind of like building up anticipation and hype, which they've done both an amazing job at and a terrible job at. They've successfully, and this is kind of recapping what's happened the last several months, so if you guys don't want to have a recap, skip ahead a couple minutes. They teased this game masterfully, I think, kind of not necessarily at the right times, kind of just when they felt like it. Their website, all of these things, they've allowed people on Twitter to tweet things out. There's insiders that I personally think they're kind of full of it, but they've talked about this game as well. So there's been all of this stuff that's been talked about for this video game, and that's fantastic. And they got mainstream journalists and they got mainstream people that totally didn't know this was happening. We've known this has been happening for like a year and a half at least, but these people, they didn't know until like September. So they've effectively gotten all of them on board, and then they just dropped the ball. Not only did they drop it, they like stumbled, they hit their head on the ball, and they probably have some sort of concussion. That's why they forgot to announce their game, because they hit their head on their ball. That's basically what's happened, because they lost all momentum. They lost all anticipation. They lost all their hype, which we even made a video about. Have they lost all of their hype? They did. I really think they did. Even the hardcore people, a lot of them I think have checked out. And I know I said that back in the beginning months, like in August, September. I said, like, hey, I understand people that have checked out. To be honest, though, not that many people checked out back then. A lot of people have checked out the last like 3 weeks. A lot of people. I think they'll come back. I'm not talking about like to my videos, but like in the Arkham community, I think a lot of people have checked out and said, like, wake me up with September ends. Green Day is like my favorite band ever. You know that song? It's like that, but with this announcement. Wake me up when they announce this game. That's pretty much what a lot of people have done, and that's fine, but that's a major blow. So, okay, you look at all the marketing, you look at all these teases, you look at all this stuff. It's very clear, right, that they don't know what they're doing. We know that in terms of that. Now, again, I've always been saying, hey, maybe they're new, or like maybe they have a plan and we have to trust the plan. Trust the process is a big thing in sports. My Buffalo Bills and Buffalo Sabres have said it before, and so I will follow it. Trust the process. However, you look at it, and it's also Warner Bros. Montreal in general. Now, we've talked about that I don't even know, and maybe people, I haven't, maybe I'm just lazy. I haven't done the LinkedIn research yet, but I don't know how many people are still there that were there when they made Arkham Origins. I've talked about that before. Is it 50%? Is it over? Is it under? It's possible that like less than half of the people that made Arkham Origins are still there making this game. That's very, very possible. Do we think that they can actually make a good game? I'll tell you this. I think the answer is yes. I think they're capable of making a good Arkham game. I think they're capable of making one of the better Arkham games. Arkham Asylum is so old, and okay, I don't mean to like sound like aggressive at that. I love Asylum. I think it's, again, I've talked about it before. If you guys have, if this is like your first video, I love Asylum. It's my favorite Arkham game. It's not the best. I think Arkham City is the best, but it's my favorite. But I still also realize it's a very old game. Even a lot of the mechanics, it really isn't that hard, especially mechanically, to outshine Arkham Asylum. In terms of it being special and it telling, I'd say, a really, really solid story and putting you in that environment, that's kind of hard to beat. But I think in general, it's not the most difficult thing in the world to beat Arkham Asylum. Arkham Origins, it's not that hard to beat Arkham Origins. Arkham Knight, it's not that hard to beat Arkham Knight. Just a couple fundamental changes or fundamental things that you just don't do in the first place, and Arkham Knight's a vastly better game. And so if you look at that from a new game, you just don't do certain things, or you do certain things, and then all of a sudden you have a better game. Okay, those three games, it's not that much harder. Arkham City, yeah, it's probably pretty difficult to reach the levels of how good Arkham City were as a whole. And that's just my opinion. Maybe you guys like Knight better. Maybe you guys like Asylum better. Like, whatever. But I don't think it's all that difficult. So, like, again, being Mr. Positive, me being Mr. Optimistic, is it possible to make a really solid Arkham game that I think they can? Yeah. Do we trust them? Do we trust them to? I don't know. I think a lot of you will probably answer no, and I don't know how I could possibly disagree with that, because what they've shown up until this point is that they really can't be trusted. And I would even take, and here's the thing, I don't want to sound like I'm just jumping in like head first, and I try not to do that with a lot of games. Some games, though, I will be honest with you, just get me based off of their name, the developer, whatever, where I will go in trusting them until they prove to me that they shouldn't be trusted, okay? And kind of the reverse. And I think a lot of people do that. If Naughty Dog announces a brand new game, I think you're gonna generally go along with it and think it's gonna be amazing, maybe even a masterpiece, until they prove you wrong, until they prove that it's not a masterpiece. I think so. Things like that. If it's a Naughty Dog game, if it's a game from your favorite franchise, say you're like a big Persona. I don't know. Persona is like the first thing that came to my mind. Persona 5 was an amazing game. Or Witcher. CD Projekt Red. Witcher was incredible. Cyberpunk looks to be absolutely amazing. You'd probably think Cyberpunk is going to be good because of The Witcher, and the only way that's going to be proven wrong is if CD Projekt Red proves you wrong in a bad way in terms of Cyberpunk's a bad game. So I am like that, okay? I will give developers the benefit of the doubt. At the same time, maybe developers like EA or even, cases where like they throw in those kind of pay-to-win or the loot boxes or whatever, maybe you're less willing to believe them when they say something. So stuff like that, it's really an art of talking in the video game industry, where the past, their past doings, their past games really define them, and you have to believe and trust them, and you kind of believe if the game's going to be good or bad based off of their past work. That's really just how it kind of is. And with Warner Bros. Montreal, if you go based off their past work, well, Origins was a solid to even, like, it was a good game. Like, it's fine. It's a fine game, but it's 6 years old. How many people are still here that worked on that game? What's happened in between then? And really, just with all of this marketing, and that's the problem is, yeah, I mean, the people that, like the artists in this game, and the designers, and the writers, and all those, and the directors, those people, Roger Craig Smith, like, those people are, like, working, I guess maybe not him, because he has teased it, but the people that are, like, hardcore working on this game, like, every day they go to the job, and they work, like, their 10 to 12 hours, and they're putting their time in, those people aren't the ones tweeting about it. Those aren't the people. I mean, yeah, in the beginning of the year, there were employees doing kind of teasers, but do you understand what I mean? For the most part, the people that are working on this game are kind of distanced themselves, not purposefully, but they're distanced from the people that are these decision makers that say, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Here's our strategy for announcing the game to the world, for telling the world that this game exists. Like, here's what we're gonna do. They're not the same people for the most part. So just because those people are kind of like trolling us / making us upset / we believe they don't, and maybe they do know what they're doing, by the way. I know I've said, like, I don't think they know what they're doing. Maybe they do, and it's just some really weird plan. But those are probably not the same people that are making the game. So just because one branch of Warner Bros. Montreal may not have our trust. I think that's the nicest way to say it. We don't necessarily trust the social media branch of Warner Bros. Montreal, and even Warner Bros. In general. But does that mean that we don't trust the people that are making the game? I don't know. I think for a lot of people, they'll say, yeah, it does mean that we don't trust them because they're all kind of one of the same. And again, like, I'd find it hard to argue with you. I don't know if I necessarily trust them, but I do believe that we are going to get a really solid Arkham game. Again, like, one of the more fun discussions I think we will have on this channel, and I think that a lot of people won't even talk about as much, but I do want to kind of, go towards once this game gets announced is, like, okay, now it's announced, but will it be any good? What are we going to start comparing it to? I know I've talked in the past, like, will people compare it to Night? Will people compare it to Origins? Is it fair to compare it to either two? Not really. And again, like, I think a lot of people will compare it, but they won't talk about it. So I think we're going to have some really, really fun discussions. Again, like, will the game even be good? We've waited all this time, not just with when they've teased it to when the game gets announced, but also we've just waited so long to play as Batman again. Will they just mess it up entirely? Will they just really destroy it and it just be terrible? They could. They really, really could. And it's a discussion I think we'll definitely have once the game does get announced. So, guys, let me know in the comments below. Do you trust Warner Bros. Montreal? Do you think they can make a really solid Batman game? And what do you think about any of those kind of topics I kind of pitched you guys at the end here? Let me know if there's any of those kind of things you want me to talk about, anything that you want me specifically to talk about, all that stuff in the comments below. Make sure you guys join our Discord server. I kind of go on and off promoting that, but the link is always in the description below for, I think, every single video we do. Links there. Join our Discord server if you guys feel like it. It's really fun there. We got a lot of people in the Arkham community and a lot of people that just talk about general topics. If you guys are interested, make sure you guys join our Discord server in the link in the description box below. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed, hit the bell icon, all that good stuff, and I hope to see you all on the next video. We have another video Thursday this week, and then next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I believe I'll keep updating you guys on every single video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.